Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Mike Haspil, and Wyatt Turk from Jacket Clubs Painting. What's up, guys?
Oh, man, just chilling, watching you fuck around with a cat.
I mean, what's new about any of this?
Nothing. It's 2020, started off hard. Guys, I missed you.
Yeah.
Is Wyatt muted?
No, he just quite deliberately did not return the I miss you to me on purpose.
I mean,
I gotta keep you humble.
I made that shit cool like 10 years ago.
What?
I didn't miss Kenny because he came out here.
Yeah. You mean like rejecting my affections? You made that cool like 10 years ago? Yeah. Fuck you.
It's hard to get, man.
I love all you guys, and I did get to hang out with legendary Mike Haspil, author of Graveyard Shift, in his Colorado Springs Beats Lab.
Yeah. Not for long enough, unfortunately.
We only got a couple hours.
Well, we're old now. We don't have time.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day.
I had to get home before 9, because like bedtime.
Yep.
Oh my God. But man, it's been weeks, holidays, New Year. We made it back, and there's literally nothing. Crickets.
There's been plenty. The site called SpikyBits.com has been publishing plenty of fun things.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Really?
It's like we didn't even have a vacation. Worked on Christmas even. Because GW did a preview. Yay.
On Christmas?
Yay.
On Christmas.
Yep.
Christmas.
Good
Makes
times.
sense. Makes sense. We do have lots of nerd shit to talk about. We're going to talk about LVO, guideline policies, cutoff dates, and an FAQ that dropped. But which I feel like is a lot coming back from the holidays. Like, I'm not prepared to do this much work.
It's really not that much. I mean, it's only a lot because it's like kind of all condensed down in a couple weeks. But
I mean, let's be real about it. We didn't do anything for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we had a shit ton of stuff to do in like 2 days.
Yeah.
if you wait till the last second, it only takes a second.
Yep.
That's true.
Ancient Chinese proverb. All right. Haspil, do it. No, I mean, sorry. We gotta do it. Would you rather? See, I even forgot about would you rather.
You don't even know anymore.
Oh, man. All right. Would you rather live in a world where all music is yodeling, or everyone else in the world sounds like Gilbert Gottfried?
Oh my God. Yodeling.
So all music is yodeling, or all people talk like Gilbert Gottfried?
Well, there'd be different genres of yodeling, right? So there'd be power metal yodeling and
Or is it all like this one terrible yodeling track?
All music is yodeling. There's no, there would be no guitars, no pianos, no saxophones.
Oh my God.
It's all music is yodeling.
So every movie, so I could either watch a movie with traditional suspense tracks, but everyone sounds like Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes.
Or watch a movie where everyone talks normal and all music is fucking yodeling.
Yes. So you sound normal to you, but everybody else, if I was talking to Kenny, I would be Gilbert Gottfried. If you're talking to your lady, she's Gilbert Gottfried.
Okay. But exactly like him, or
yes.
Oh my
100%.
God.
yeah, that's rough. Man.
Gotta have to go with yodeling on this one. And I no longer listen to music.
Yep.
Good luck.
I feel like that's what happens. I'd just
You gotta put music in your soundtracks.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Damn, is the genie's magic so strong in this scenario that if I want to just hum, it would come out as
You're
yodeling?
now yodeling.
Yeah. All music is yodeling. This is like a paradigm shift.
And so in this world, this fucked up world I live in where all music is yodeling, do I remember that there used to be music that wasn't yodeling, but everyone else doesn't?
Yes.
So it's totally normal for these yodeling crazy people.
Yeah, everybody else is like, hey, did you hear that hot new track from Taylor Swift? And it's just yodeling.
Nice.
See, here's the thing.
Wu-Tang up in that sweet yodel.
Yeah, God damn.
Yodel beatboxing.
Yodel beatboxing with a yodel track, like rap track. It's terrible. Like the thing is like as awful as that world sounds, like I would just kill myself on this podcast. It's never an option. I would literally just kill. No, I'm not liking myself.
No, it's never an option.
Yeah, that's an out. That's you gaming it.
Yeah.
So I'd have to pick.
You'd just be resurrected.
I'd have to pick yodeling because I couldn't do it. Like this show would be the most excruciating 3 hours of my week with you hobos. If you all said like,
it only sucks for you. For the rest of us, it would be normal. Like we're just like all humans just sound this way. Like that's just part of our lives. But for you, it would really suck.
Yep. No, stand by it. Yodeling. This is. How about you, Rob?
I don't know. I kind of like Gilbert Gottfried. Like.
Of course you fucking do. Do you like it enough to lovingly caress your lady's cheek in the middle of the night and have her roll over to you and say she loves you in that fucking voice?
Affleck. No.
That's not the same guy.
It is what it used to be.
Originally it was.
Yeah.
I already blocked that out.
No, I probably don't want that.
No, it's ridiculous. Linear Kenny can back me on this.
Yeah, I'm torn because I'm such an introvert anyway. I figure like the two people I talk to can sound like Gilbert Gottfried now. I'm like, I just don't give a shit, but I need my music. So I think I'm going to reverse and just go Gilbert Gottfried, and I just won't associate with anybody.
Yeah, because at least you still have techno. I mean, EDM, and
you have all my music.
He has all music back.
Just be like, yeah, I get all my music back, and then I just don't talk to me.
And you're,
I would learn ASL, and that's the way you speak to me.
Oh my God.
Then you'd have to deal with people that think that just yelling at you helps your deafness. And so it would just be like Gilbert Gottfried yelling at you.
Yelling at me. Yeah. Yeah.
Some people in chat said they take Gilbert Gottfried over music as well.
I think so. I think upon thinking about it, I pick Gilbert Gottfried and get my music back.
Spiky Bits is powered by snare, so we got to have our snare. That's all I'm saying.
So ridiculous.
Do we get trolled? What's the super chat thing? Is that like real?
Super chat is a thing, yeah.
Oh,
it's not a thing we use. That's a good one. It's a good thinker, Wyatt. Thank you for ruining my life.
Yeah, so in the YouTube's chat, we got a question that somebody paid for.
Yeah, I feel like they paid for that. Is that a thing?
We got to address this. So it's from Jaegerbomb, great name, by the way, who says, do we think that Death Watch will get some love during the Psychic Awakening? Also, is there any validity to 9th edition rumors?
I would assume that Death Watch would get some stuff in a Psychic Awakening book. They did say that like Lottie-Dottie everybody is going to get something. So I imagine so. How long of a wait that will be, who knows? 9th edition rumors. If by 9th edition you mean an update to the current edition of rules, then that's probably going to happen. Is it going to be
your first question basically answered your second question. The first question is an update to the rules showing that they're continuously going to do that. Like overarching rules. Like that answers the second question. Like, yes, everything's going to get updated. No, there's not going to be a 9th edition.
I think it's going to be a perpetual treadmill. And we're seeing that with Sigmar now too, is that all the Sigmar books, except for Lizardmen have been done. So now we're going to start to roll into 3.0 books, and those will be on a cycle and a treadmill to get done. Yeah. So I think we're going to see all the 40K books get updated to 2.0. Then we'll see, the next Psychic Awakening come out.
Yeah, and Warhammer 40K Psychic Awakening.
Yep.
No,
I think one of for the Deathwatch thing, once we figure out what they're doing for the Grey Knights, I think will be the precursor or the tell on what they're going to do for Custodes and also Deathwatch.
Mm-hmm. I await with bated breath. Not really.
They're going to suck.
Man, maybe their apology tour will finally be over.
I got my sisters. I don't mind anymore.
I mean, this is Haspil's year. You got your sisters, you're going to get your Grey Knights.
I'm not going to get rewarded.
I'm not going to get my Grey Knights. You guys have more faith there.
Oh, man. It is.
No, guys, he's got to pretend like he doesn't care. So that J.J. Abrams doesn't make a phone call.
Because otherwise, J.J. Abrams will be like, G-Dub, F up with the Grey Knights.
Yeah, his assistant will come storming into his office and be like, hey, that guy Mike Haspil that you pay me 6 figures to troll and keep tabs on for you, he just said he cares about Grey Knights coming out this year. Oh my God, hold on, and grabs the fucking Batman.
Lower the saves of Grey Knight Terminators. They're too strong. Yeah, this whole thing where they hit demons for D3 damage, that's got to go away. That's way too powerful. Let's just nerf that.
Yep.
Yeah, you got it. Yep, Haspil's doing it right.
I have to lower my expectations. That way, whatever trash they feed me will taste good.
Wow. I think that's Stockholm Syndrome.
No, that's
but honestly, I'm very, very happy with Sisters. So that's going to consume my time for probably the next 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense. Nerd shit.
Since JJ doesn't hate me, I'm awaiting the triumphant return of the Deathwing. I'm banking it all on Deathwing.
Nice.
I guess we'll know next week when all the previews hit. I'm sure that's my call. Speaking of nerd shit, or speaking of new previews, if I had a guess, I would say Psychic Awakening Ritual of the Damned is going to be next week's preview / pre-order. As we know, Sisters are coming out the 18th. They're going on pre-order this Saturday. Not all the Sisters, just the Retributors, the Battle Sisters, the Triumph of St. Catherine, the Codex dice, and
Terrain, the Statue of the Living Saint.
No, not that one. Not yet.
Yeah, it is.
Does that have rules?
No, because the Haven was taking pre-orders for it.
I think
I'm Sigmar has the hey, here's the terrain piece for your army that does a cool thing. Does the statue have a cool thing?
Yes, it does. It does have rules.
Yeah, 50 points in it dishes out it gives you extra miracle dice. But it's big. It's like Kill Team terrain ruins. So I mean you basically get a free, I guess it's not a magic box, but it's like a free ruin stack.
That's cool.
So, yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Ace of War is coming out this week. If you're into the Sigmars, spoiler alert, there are rules in there. And I don't know if these battle plans, no, I guess they aren't, because it comes with battle plans for the models, a battalion for the models that come in the box. And generally those battalions never had point values because they were just this is like a cool thing. And it never made the point values for the battalions because there's always special rules if you played with the models that came in that box. This time around, however, there is point values for both of the battalions in the box. So assuming those aren't in the books, that might be a little piece of content that you're going to need to play with if you're playing Tzeentch or you're playing the Caradon Overlords. Kind of interesting that they're bringing that out because now they're starting to escalate the rules a little bit more. Because remember back in the day when there would be and I guess we're kind of getting it now with White Dwarfs and everything. That now they're starting to kind of do it with Sigmar. So it's I don't know, but we'll see how it turns out. So that's a big release this week, which means that yes, Lizardmen are the only battle tome left to get the 2.0 revamp, which they said would be sometime apparently later this year. But in the interim, they're going to come out with some sort of new elf release, which looks like Teclis will be at the head of that. So if you like the high elves back in the day, I'm sure they're not going to be exactly pointy elves. I'm sure not going to be exact, but they're going to be, some sort of flavor of high elf, because you can't, you got to put that G'd up spin on it. But that'll be interesting. So going on pre-order this week will be the White Dwarf for $9, the Battle Sisters box for $60, the Retributors for $55, which mirrors the Chaos Havoc squad that came out. The Triumph of St. Catherine for $110, which mirrors, what's that guy's name? Katakaros from the little display special character from
Bone Reapers.
From the Boner Reapers?
So, yes, the Boner Reapers.
That's $110?
Yep.
For that Triumph?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
American?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. May have to cancel that pre-order until after January 25th.
The Sisters Codex book, $40, data cards for $25, and the dice for $35. The dice actually look pretty cool. I'm like,
they're a little hard to read, but for Miracle Dice, they're mint. They're perfect for Miracle Dice. Because they remind me, I don't know what the middle part is at. Like, I don't know if it's going to be like the Space Wolf dice, where it was like kind of just on the surface, or if it's going to be like the Nurgle dice, where they were like 3D relief.
It's actually a good question. I was wondering about that, because some big GTs are starting to say no GW dice as like actual dice you roll for stuff. So I wonder if they're going to actually allow people to roll the branded Miracle Dice for their Miracle Dice rolls. Or if they'll have to do it with the normal dice, and you can just keep track of stuff with the Miracle Dice.
Yeah, I feel like that's okay. I don't have a problem with like rolling a normal dice, and then when my opponent goes, yeah, that's a 5, I just pick the 5 on the quote unquote Miracle Dice to keep track of it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, either way, if it interests you, the time to pick it up is release week, because generally they don't print enough, and then they go out of print, and then they're a premium on
then they're gone.
The eBays like down the road. So it's kind of crazy. Some of those spray cans of primer that they discontinued in the summer are going for like $50 each now.
I've seen people talk about buying them, and I just don't understand it. I'm like, why are you paying for that shitty spray can when you could just get the same color from Army Painter for like less than that can was retail?
Too. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot or your local Ace Hardware or whatever. They can they can color match paint for a heck of a lot cheaper.
Yeah, but it'll be latex. Like if you're trying to,
well, you
just got to be careful. That's not good for miniatures, but it's good for terrain.
Yeah,
100%. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like if you want it, pick it up first, because who knows if you'll be able to get it later on down the road. Kind of like that eBay mentality, I suppose, in some regards. What else do we got so Eighth of War was this big release for this week, because of course we've been away for a couple of weeks here. Miniature Market, they all sound the same, and my handwriting is terrible. Miniature Market will be having a big sale for limited time sale for, I think it's going to be for like about a week, on a whole ton of stuff they got super discounted. I can't tell you everything that's on there, but trust me, you're going to want to check it out because it's pretty significant. I was really surprised at some of the prices. I was like, yep, we'll talk about this. This is all good stuff. So look for that. I think it will go live at some point in the next couple of days. So by the time you hear this podcast, check out their site, because I can't tell you the web link because I don't know it, and I can't tell you exactly what all's going to be on there because I don't know it, but I did see the sheet, and if the sheet is the same, it's going to be amazing. So check out that limited time only coming up. Of course, you can always get your Long War doubles tickets for LVO. It's never too late. You can definitely show up. We'll probably work you in at the event. I don't think we've ever gotten anybody in that was on a wait list or just showed up. So definitely get your tickets now, or even if you don't, you can show up at the event. Kenny and Wyatt will be there.
Infinity Room. They have
transferring handies all over the place.
Handies and hugs.
Yeah, anybody who signs up will get a free hand job from Kenny.
There you go.
Stipulations may apply.
I mean, it was bought and paid for by somebody, but
non-transferable. And last, at least on my end, the bits bag, the fat sack of bits, will be making a return very shortly. We're going to put them up on beta for folks over on Patreon. So look for a notification on that very shortly. And then we'll have them up for sale to air quotes the public probably next month. And here's why you're probably not going to want to miss this one. We picked up a room full of bits from White Metal Games, a literal room of bits. So White Metal Games is downsizing or potentially closing at some point early this year. And we made a special deal for their vault of bits, and now it's here, and it's taking up way too much space. So I've been slowly sorting through it, but we need this stuff needs to go.
Yeah,
it's too much. So look for those here shortly.
Speaking of plugs, I showed Wyatt today my early concept art for the new shirt, first shirt of 2020. Classic Sisters.
Ooh, ladies.
Oh.
Yep, I'm doing I'm going off of the old 80s box art look, or
The
I guess
John
90s.
Blanche stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
And so it's gangster. Like I'm working on it. I'm gonna work on it tonight after the show, but that'll be like the LVO, kind of pitch, like I guess like piggybacking the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Be a sister shirt. I had I drew for 2 hours the other day. I was doing a helmeted sister, and then like I nudged the power cable on the Wacom tablet and it turned off on me.
No.
But no, I mean I save 1,000 times a second. It didn't matter.
Oh, okay.
But I turned it back on and it corrupted the file.
No.
So worse. So then I was super mad. Went back, took a break, came to it, and then was super happy that happened because now I'm working that other OG, no helmet, that classic crazy sister with the big eyepiece and the crazy hair,
Yep.
So it's going to be sick. Super stoked on it. And I should have it in the shop, I'm going to say by Monday. So
Cool.
look for that. Haspil, didn't you have some nerd shit to add?
Yeah, a couple things, right? The Spiky covered this, the drop top by there's a Kickstarter right now for this thing called a drop top, and it is easiest way to explain it is like a nipple for your Citadel paint.
Baby bottle top.
So you just throw this thing on there and it turns your Citadel paint bottle into a dropper bottle. And it's actually kind of cool. So go check that out on Kickstarter. It's called Drop Top by Dr. Tabletop. And then I'm going to super nerd out for a moment here. And I'm going to add a link to the chat because these guys deserve a lot of help. There is an app out for Android and iOS, although I guess it is not on the iOS store right now. It will be it was up before and it will be put back on momentarily. There was some snafu with like a version control or something that got uploaded to the iOS store. So they needed to take it down to put it back up. It is called Rightful Ruler, and it is an augmented reality app for Warhammer. It is amazing. So the way it works is you take out your phone, you set up, hey, I want to play on a 4x6 table, and you set up what deployment you want. It has the deployment stuff from the 40K book. All those deployments are in there. And you just select the deployment that you want, and when you're looking at your phone over the table, the deployment zones are there. You can lay out a grid. You can then, if I put in a link to their demo video, they have things like QR codes that you print out and you put them down for your objectives. And you scan those QR codes. It will remember where those objective markers are. So then you can just pull them off, put your actual objective markers that you're going to play with, and it puts a ring around them that is 3 inches around. So you can see that on your phone, whether somebody is within the ring or not. And then when you go to shoot or measure distances or whatever, you can actually just select your miniature and go, hey, who's within 24 inches of this guy? And you just expand it out, look at it on your phone. You can see an overlay like a HUD that will show you everything that's 24 inches away. It is actually really, really, really cool. It is a very, very early beta right now. Those guys have a Patreon, and their name is Minotaur Gaming. And it's not Minotaur, it's Mini-Tor. So when you search for it, go Mini-Tor Gaming. And they have a Patreon, they have a website, they have a YouTube channel where they've been showing a lot of the new features. They're getting ready to add some AI for base detection. Right now, you have to kind of just center your phone over your miniature, tell the phone what base that you need to do, what base you need to use, like a 25 mil, 40 mil, whatever. And then you can control it. You just say, hey, the base is here and it's a 40 millimeter base. And then you can sit there and manipulate it. But they're working on having like an AI just recognize the base size and where the base is. It is persistent. You can literally just play with it, put your phone away, put your phone in your pocket, and then go, oh man, where were the objectives? Somebody knocked over the objectives. Pull your phone back out. It's persistent. It's right there. You can look at that HUD again through your phone and replace the objectives where they were. It is really, really, really cool. So go check it out. Give them a bit of support so they can develop this thing and turn it into the craziness we need once, Magic Leap and HoloLens become like household words. We definitely want this stuff. It's really cool.
Does your Patreon accept transferable handies? Because Kenny has a bunch.
I don't actually. It's totally centralized out of my coffers now. If I can't print any more, I'd devalue them and hurt my financial standing on the market.
They're actually in a pretty big debt hole to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got them on like a real nasty interest rate. So
it's bad. That sounds amazing. I've dreamed of a future like that, Haspil, in miniatures.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that will be used in like tournament play anytime soon. But
no, it's early beta, like you said. Yeah. It's too cumbersome right now.
Right. It's in early beta, and it is called, some folks are asking again, it's called Rightful Ruler. So in the iOS store, you might not be able to see it because it was taken down earlier so that they could put it back up and correct the version that was up there. It is on Android as well. And it is supported by tablets too, if you have the right kind of tablet. So it is really, really amazing. I think these guys have nailed it. Right now, it's just for Warhammer and games like Warhammer. So bolt action stuff, Star Wars Legion, stuff like that. But there's no reason why they couldn't make a module for, say, X-Wing, that you pick an X-Wing and it shows you where your guy would wind up if you pick a certain template. I mean, it's really, the sky's the limit on this kind.
Yeah, LT said something in the chat that was dope. This app would be useful for casters on tournament games using the top-down overlay.
Oh, it would be amazing. And that might be a suggestion you want to make to them.
Currently it's tricky, but like they should develop that.
You would need to broadcast it from your device if you could do that.
That's what I'm saying. Right now it's not. It's obviously not really easy, but to make them aware of that avenue would be something they should develop.
Yeah,
because then they can license
casting. People are using like PCs or Macs, right? But you need that whole like 3D spatial awareness that's already been developed by the phone people to make the AR work.
Yeah, I can see I can see a dope Kickstarter in the future.
Oh yeah,
I can see that. So let's touch on LVO again for a second. LVO is this month. We're back. It's usually historically in February, but now it's in January of the month. Frontline Gaming made their big official move over Nevada to be closer to their Crown Jewel event. This is the biggest event. This is the biggest tournament in the history of mankind. Last year it was also LVO. The year before that it was also LVO. So you can see the trend here. They're also quickly becoming one of the biggest conventions in miniature space, period. And with this growth rate, it's going to be the biggest. Like it's unstoppable. We're going to be there. Me and Wyatt will be there. Some of our other people will be there. Like Alan will be running the Long War doubles. So sign up or show up if you're feeling it, because we have unlimited space. But there are some guidelines and some cutoff dates that you guys should be made aware of. If you plan on attending LVO, the cutoff date is the 13th.
Yep.
So get in the app now, get your army list submitted. There is a video that you guys are going to want to watch if you're going there. Throw that link up for our live viewers. It was Salty John was doing a judge PSA and kind of breaking down some of the guidelines. You definitely want to watch this video if you're going to go and you're somebody who likes to borrow your friend's models, or you have an eclectic collection of miniatures you bought on eBay, because they are definitely making strides in a positive way toward the future of not having shitty looking armies.
We mean that in the nicest way possible.
Yeah. I mean, you know who you are if your army looks like shit. And because you didn't try. There's no effort. That's what they're really talking about. It's like, you can borrow models. You can use your Black Templars as Ultramarines. That's fine. They have all sorts of rules for that. Guidelines you need to follow. Basing as well. But the big thing that really struck me was that they upgraded their 3-color minimum, the concept of a 3-color minimum, to GW Battle Ready guidelines. And they showed some pictures in that video, which do show you the difference between those two. One of them is effort. To use Haspil earlier, you're painting some Blood Ravens. Literally get a can of Army Painter Chaos Red, spray them joints, leave the shoulder pads off, spray them joints with their skeleton bone, glue them joints back together, pull out some shiny silver, paint the bolters super quick, drop a wash, you're battle ready by GW standards. And you probably would have painted your army faster that way than you would have normally. And then on the weekends or between tournaments, you can just bang out those bonus details and even go after the hobby tracker. And before you know it, your army's going to look sick as fuck. So that's
not hard.
It's not. And there's a wealth of content on the internet to help you with this. And it's very important that the leaders in competitive 40K are taking this step forward with tournament battle ready standards, borrow hammer guidelines. Also, big update on the Thunderfire cannon, right, Wyatt?
Yeah. So one of the things they were talking about is not just with the Thunderfire cannon, but for a multitude of units, a lot of people are proxying other models for those units because of one reason or another. And they focused on Thunderfire cannons because basically, if you're playing Space Marines, you have at least one Thunderfire cannon in your list. And a lot of people, including myself, have been using the Rapier Carrier model for Thunderfire cannon. Now, whether it's just
as the tracks, the base of the cannon.
Yeah, it ranges from people just using the quad launchers, just stock and putting those there, to doing what I did, which was convert them. And mine are converted pretty heavily, but basically they were saying if it doesn't have the same footprint and profile on the tabletop, it's not a conversion. Don't even
bother submitting it to our conversion guidelines if it's not the same footprint, because we're going to say no. Conversions need to be the same footprint, and counts as are going to be looked at. They use a lot of counts as examples for certain things, certain AS, Age of Sigmar warrior, Chaos Warriors in place of this model for possess. It's literally the same size, maybe even bigger, disadvantage, whatever. If it looks dope, but they definitely took time to explain the difference between a counts as and a conversion, and conversions must absolutely be the same footprint. It's a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, the rule of cool is still very, very strong and very well supported. But at the end of the day, if you're proxying something and it's just not the right size, that's exploitative. Yeah. And I totally agree with this ruling, even though I have been using the Rapier Carriers, converted, mind you, as Thunderfire cannons, and they are simply too small. That's just the end of it. They don't have the same footprint and they don't have the same profile. So a lot of people have been using these and putting them in places that Thunderfire cannons, a real one, can't go. And then Kenny also brought up a good point as to why they do this. So you want to elaborate on that?
Oh, you mean the GW point?
Yeah.
So, I mean, as we move further into an esports competitive place, as miniatures grows bigger and bigger, the company that creates the models is going to be more and more involved. And you've seen this for the last couple of years. GW has a big hand at LVO, and big shocker that Thunderfire Cannons went down to like sub 100 points and are super popular, but they're not selling that many. And then they see that everyone's using these Forge World models as counts as. They're like, oh, okay, they don't want shit Finecast. But we're not selling those either. You know what I'm saying? So literally there's the black market, there's 3D printing. And so some part of the fact that they used Thunderfire Cannons as their example is directly, in my opinion, probably because of GW. And I can't hate them.
Yeah. It's exactly the same as the Caladius. Because like there was so many Caladius tanks out there, and they obviously weren't selling a whole lot from Forge World because they were shit Forge World and overpriced. And so they were like, yeah, no recast, no 3D printing of your Caladius tanks.
Yep.
And so I'm not mad.
Forge World had sold like 3.
Yeah. I mean, there was like the first year at LVO for 8th edition, there was like 78 Storm Fire Raptors.
Yeah.
Like 78 Fire Raptors, and GW definitely hasn't sold 78 Fire Raptors in 10 years. So like, I'm not mad about things like that. Like I'm not. Like the company who built the game, we dedicate our lives to, they make the best models in the game. They care about competitive play now. Like literally, and it has been my dream that competitive play cares about the hobby a little more. And so to me, it is the beginning of that future. It's unstoppable. You know, what you can do is, if you're concerned, is an easy thing to do. We talked about it, is download the Long War Doubles painting rubric that we put out for our event, which is actually 70% hobby score, which is weighted. None of these big ITC events have weighted hobby scores. But if you use our painting rubric, which is not based on skill in any way, but based on just a checkbox of accomplished tasks, which is based on effort, you will be fine forever. And your army might even look better than you thought. When we're grading those, like we really go out of the way. If you show effort, you're probably going to get the score. Like, and it's just easy stuff like bring a display board, like just get the points.
It's like really easy to get those points.
Paint the belt buckles on your dude. Paint the eyes. So use a grass tuft, you barbarian.
Yeah. So what I did is I bought one of the Frontlines trays because I like them. They're really sturdy. It's super thick cut MDF, so it's not going to like crack or fall apart on you. And then they also sell little tiny versions of their board mats that fit in their trays. So ta-da, you have a terrain diorama display board to get full points.
It's true. And Rob will throw the rubric up in the chat again for our live viewers. If you're listening to this on your drive to work, it's just a quick search on Spiky Bits' website.
Honestly, if you type in "bring a hobby back" into Google, you'll probably come up with a page. But I'll get the link real quick.
There you go. And so if you're planning on playing a Long War Doubles tournament, it's very helpful because we do have a heavily weighted score system. We have 2 what I call objective scorecards, which are rubric based, which is your theme score and your painting score that is judged by us on a rubric that you get to see ahead of time. No surprises there. It's as objective as it can be. Then you have 2 subjective scores, being sportsmanship and comp. That's player policed. Those are worth less than the objective rubric scores, but they all combine to be 70% of your total score. So definitely stop by if you're looking for a fun doubles event that does bring some competitive heat, mind you. But you're looking for that atmosphere, a little bit more laid back. You want to bring hobby back with us. We'll be there on Sunday. Unlimited space. Now, we did create space in this episode to talk about the painting rubric because Haspil brought up some great points, some great advice for some of his iconic paint jobs you guys may have seen over the last decade. Multiple time winner, Tacticon, Genghis Khan. Haspil, elaborate on your system and how come it looks so good and how come it's so little effort.
Yeah, so essentially what you do is you start off with the basic 3-color minimum thing, right? But there's a lot of things you can do to the miniature that kick it up a notch. That's the easiest way to do it, right? And it's like use either a, sculpted base or use 2 or 3 different versions of flock on your bases, right? Like, and it's super easy to do. If you want to, like, this is what I've been doing with my Blood Ravens. I use I went really cheap with them. So I painted them all contrast, right? But then use decals. You'd be amazed how much a decal, with a little microsol on it makes it look like you painted it on. You'd be amazed how much that makes a miniature kick it up. People were seeing my army and not realizing that it was all painted with contrast paints until they got right up close to it, right? At the hands, at the tabletop distance, it looks amazing. So then you on the bases, what I did for these bases is I bought a lot of the GW the textured paints for the base. Mm-hmm. So you do that. You dry brush it so that it looks good. And then you throw on some of these grasses that these companies have been pulling out, these grass tufts. That's all you need to do. It looks amazing, right? That makes your entire miniature look better. So then every time I play, when you're taking your miniatures out, you put them back in your thing, they get damaged, they get bumped up, arms bust off or whatever. So when you're correcting them to go, okay, I remember this guy broke last time or this part came off or whatever, and you're fixing the battle damage, go in there. And then that's when I just pick one item and I just add to that. And it might be, okay, I'm going to do the eyes on their visors this time, or I'm just going to do a little bit of battle damage around the knees, do some sponge chipping, whatever. After about 3 or 4 gaming sessions / tournaments, your army is top tier. It's better than 90% of the stuff out there. And it was really easy to do and not time consuming because your stuff does not have to look like a Golden Demon winner right when you paint it the first time. Just get it on the table. And then as you play with it, just keep adding it. After a year, your stuff will look amazing.
Yep. Haspil stuff always did back in the old days in Colorado, man. I remember that. And so much of it, you're right, was your decal work, your heavy wash techniques, and your basing schemas were just made the armies look ridiculous.
And so, like, initially, a good example is how I would do something is like initially on a power sword, right? I might just paint that silver just to get the guy on the board, right? Mm-hmm. And then the next time I go, oh, you know what? I'm going to, and actually contrast paint is actually really good for this. I'm going to take that turquoise contrast paint and just go over the blade. Takes no time at all. But now it looks like, okay, it's got this kind of a turquoise flavor to it. So then the next time I go, hey, I'm going to glaze it, right? But before I glaze it, I'm going to take my thinnest brush and some skull white, and I'm going to do these little lightning kind of things all over the sword, and then I glaze it. And it looks sick. It's not hard to do.
Your whole Greynard army comes to mind. I remember that.
Yeah, it's not hard to do.
Step in my new video that just came out where I say, if you suck at edge highlights, do paint chipping. Edge highlight. Like I just did Deathwing Knight, and it's like you take a little bit of dark brown and you just kind of randomly put little splotches and scratches and chips around the edges of the armor, and like, wow, it looks super fucking cool. And if you have shaky hands or you don't have the best motor control, so you can't do those super clean edge highlights you see in all the box art, like, don't even do it. Just chip those dudes up.
Mm-hmm. And you can even do like multi-layer chipping. You can do like the first pass could be black chipping. The second pass could be a little silver right on top, just a little bit above. And suddenly it has the total effect of like an overshadow with a little exposed metal underneath. Like you can be shocked how you can get away with on chipping. Luckily, there's these YouTube videos that have like hundreds to thousands of these tutorials. You can find them pretty easily.
So I just found this old article on this clickbaity website called Spiky Bits.
Is that the same website I get my boner pills from?
Yes. It's from 2013, and it features an army painted by one Mike Haspil. It's his Grey Knights. and
Ooh.
Necrons. So it actually looked like there was two armies. I found the first one that was, of course, very fluffy Necrons and Grey Knights. But then one I was looking for was, it turns out Haspil got Player's Choice from Feast of Blades in 2011. Good job, Haspil.
Yeah, a long time ago, with a Mordrak army, no less.
Was that the year we were out there with Dom, our DJ?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was actually amazing because there were like arcade machines there too.
Yeah.
They had brought like an arcade
retro arcade, yeah.
in a ton of arcade machines that were all set to free. There was like a DJ playing. We're playing 40K. I was like, man, this is the height of gaming right here achieved.
It was dope. DJ LMT. That remember? I just saw Dom over Christmas break too, Rob.
Oh, really?
Yeah, our old DJ.
Monsters.
He had he came to us with a lot of events. That event he brought this PA system. Chandler paid him to DJ the hall for the Friday night open games, and then the rest of the weekend he was just on the small speakers DJing our painting booth. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We had definitely the sickest booth.
Man, those were the days.
Damn, dude, this is some shit back in the days.
So speaking of not back in the day, what's new in the FAQ, Wyatt?
Well, thanks for asking, Rob. So we got a twofer FAQ. We got one for Blood of Baal and one for Faith and Fury. I'm just going to do Blood of Baal real quick because there's a point I want to make about something they put in Faith and Fury. Some basic changes. The biggest one was there was like some typos for some of the data sheets. And so they still had "and they shall know no fear" instead of "angels of death." So they fixed those. Then they were saying that characters cannot be given adaptive physiology. And then they did some there was only a single FAQ for Blood Angels. It says, "Is the Fury Within abilities improvement to armor pin cumulative with that from the Assault Doctrine?" No, which shouldn't have even been asked because it says in the Assault Doctrine that bonus is not cumulative with literally anything. Some FAQs for Tyranids. There was a tactic that people were using where they would cast Symbiotic Devastation stratagem on a unit that had already advanced, and it made them count as not having moved. And they said you cannot do that because advancing is actually different than moving. It's like a totally separate thing, even though it happens in the movement phase.
Oh, wow. So you mean the whole... So can Kraken still move, advance, and charge?
Well, so...
Or is that their thing? They can advance and charge.
Yeah, so the stratagem is specifically for shooting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was like you can shoot as if you didn't move because apparently, I forget the name of the unit. Maybe it was like Hive Guard or something like that. Like they can't shoot if they move at all. Like, so they have to stay still.
No, they can't. I maybe like Bio Wars or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
So wait, is it one of those wordings that was like doesn't count in as having moved in the previous turn? So then people are like, oh, so technically, okay.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like if I were playing my aggressors in my Ultramarines army, if I advance them, then the tactical doctrine buff does not take effect because advancing is not moving. Advancing is advancing. Different rule.
That's right. We were trying to make an argument to still charge. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good clarification.
Yep. So for Faith and Fury, they changed some power levels. So Helbrecht went up to 8, Emperor's Champion to 4, Grimaldus to 4. They changed the Ascendance and Devout Push. Says the unit can pile in, and until the end of that phase, when that unit consolidates, it can move up to 6 inches instead of 3. Basically, the big thing with this one is a designer's note, and I'm gonna read this, and then I want to ask you guys a question about it. So it says, "We have received a number of questions asking if, as a successor chapter of the Imperial Fist, the Black Templars benefit from both the Knights of Sigismund and Legacy of Dorn rules, and whether they get access to the Imperial Fist warlord traits, stratagems, psychic powers, and relics, etc., in addition to the Black Templars once presented in Faith and Fury. To be clear, although the Black Templars are an Imperial Fist successor chapter, they deviate significantly from its tactics and doctrines. And as such, we have provided a bespoke, dedicated set of rules to represent them on the tabletop. So that was a big one, because a lot of people were using Imperial Fist stuff with Black Templars because it was wishy-washy, right? So that was the big takeaway. Now, I'll ask you guys this. Why could we not have had all of the Adeptus Astartes, all of them, have a supplement off of the Codex Astartes with guys like Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and Death Watch have something very similar where it says, although the Dark Angels are a first founding chapter, their chapter doctrines deviate significantly from the Codex Astartes, and as such, we have provided a bespoke, dedicated set of rules to present them on the tabletop, blah, 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 instead of streaming them out and only updating them to Angels of Death in Psychic Awakening. Like, wouldn't it make so much more sense if they had just made them a supplement to Codex Astartes to give them these rules?
Yeah.
Instead of, oh yeah, we'll like update their rules to have Angels of Death, but not fix like core mechanics that are like messed up in their codexes because they're a separate dex.
You're correct.
I think that's just oversight.
I can't think of a realistic. I mean,
yeah,
because I can't even use like the string marketing tactic to justify that.
Yeah, because it's like I've seen what they've been doing with these rules, and I really feel like we might get some cool new stuff, but there's going to remain things untouched in the codex that are just fundamentally garbage until they decide to give them a new codex, which could be a really, really long time because they're doing the Psychic Awakening rules. So like it leaves those books in a really kind of like poopy place. So it's like they gave Blood Angels new rules, but like a lot of the stuff that was shitty about Blood Angels is still shitty. Whereas all of the Adeptus Astartes and Codex Astartes got these huge, massive buffs and fixes to a lot of their core mechanics that needed fixing.
Well, I mean, there's still stuff in the basic Space Marine book that's either going to go to Legends or it's just going to get addressed again in the 3.0 version of the Space Marine book. You know, it feels like more like I said, when 8th came out, I was like, yo, we're going to basically have a living rule set. We're the beta, and they're just going to keep cranking out new versions of the same stuff over and over, 2.0s, 3.0s.
Yeah, but the way they're cranking it out is definitely like a string marketing. Like they,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the second they became publicly traded, it's like we talked about, I think earlier this week, Rob, it was like, it makes a lot of sense to do what Wyatt said and like other companies have done. But the second you're saying like, look, it's going to negatively impact certain types of sales in the short term.
Yeah.
But in the end, it will stabilize. We believe that this will be better and the numbers will grow and more than cover that initial loss of perceived profit. And that's, in my experience, one of the last things shareholders want to hear. You know, they don't care. They're, short-sighted.
But yeah, as long as the shareholders are, getting taken care of, I feel like
so
they're gonna be okay.
I think situations like this are like, at this point, GW, it's like don't broke, don't fix. It's not broke, don't fix it. Like they're continuously making more money every year, so they have no incentive to change the way they are doing it right now.
I used to think it was, having a tinfoil hat to say that the rules reflected they would make something a certain way because they wanted to sell models. And you would have to really convince me with a very good argument as after this year or 2019, the way they rolled out Space Marines, the way they did, and now Psychic Awakening, that these rules are specifically designed in a lot of cases to sell models. I mean, you could just look at Sisters too, the way they rolled it out with a limited edition box. And then not a month later, they're coming out with the stuff. But the way they made the points and everything, everybody's running brigades, right off the bat. So it's all very easy to be like, oh, those stupids, they didn't make the Lord Discordant, the way they should have. Now I can take 3. Yes, take 3. You have to buy 3. Yes, we're the stupids. Come on, guys.
Stop, bro. Don't fix it. They don't have to change. I mean, literally, this is us bitching, but on paper, they don't have to fix anything.
Yeah. All I'm saying is I don't mind the way that they're doing the releases, because everybody's getting rules updates, right? So
sure.
Cool. That's awesome. But what I'm saying is why would they not take this opportunity to fix the things that are broken, as well as giving new rules?
I mean, because we might as well ask why the sky is blue. Who fucking knows?
Yeah. No, they can fix it down the road and sell something when they fix it and make it a big hey, we did this thing. Buy this thing. I
mean, why didn't they send out stickers to stick in the back of your Space Wolf Codex the day it was printed with the wrong warlord traits?
It's just all speculation.
They don't have to. That's why.
I was talking about that earlier with somebody else, and I was like, it would have made so much more sense if they had just done it as if it were for the Blood Angels and the Dark Angels and the Black Templars in these Psychic Awakening books, just shove what would be a Codex Astartes supplement book inside of that and shore up a lot of the things that are wrong with the faction or a problem. And I'm not even talking about from a competitive sense. I'm talking about there's stuff that's just so objectively dog shit that nobody plays it, which means they're not buying those models.
No, LT has a good point in chat, and it reminds me of a thing that we've been saying. GW always says that they're a model company, not a rules company, but they have become both lately. As this space moves more toward the competitive vibe, and they have showed, every piece of evidence shows that this is something they care about now, they're now both a model company and a rule company.
And I think they're going to start leaning more and more towards a rules company.
Yeah. And because rules also sell models sell models, rules sell models of rules, rules of models. And as this becomes clear to them, and having a good balanced game system and not dicking us around as consumers, they're going to finally be able to see and convince everyone in the company, whatever the fucking reason is, they're going to be able to say, you know what? We need to take this part of our business as seriously while not skimming from this part of our business. It's going to happen. I believe in my heart that they're going to change.
Oh yeah. Bold prediction time. They have spent millions on a new warehouse, new distribution, upgrades and facility improvements and expansions just here in the States, not even counting the brand new factory that they're putting in over in the UK and Nottingham as well. This, we ain't seen nothing yet, guys. We haven't. This is the warm up. This is the beta for their new marketing mix, their new path to market with all this stuff. And it's going to be something. It's definitely going to be something. So get ready for that one.
Yeah, no, true.
It's going to be crazy.
And to the chat, Sukala Mink said, Possessed got love and chapter proven. Now they're sold out. You want to know a big part of that was competitive people talking about how good they were with the 300 combos it takes to make them good. And GW.
You shouldn't say that.
GW.
Don't say that username. That's terrible.
Say what?
What you just said.
It does. It's them as a unit is on paper. I've been all over the internet. People are like, this unit doesn't make sense. How's it good? Because it takes multiple combinations. It takes the specialist detachment. Nurgle is really strong, for example. It takes a specialist detachment. It takes a 20-man squad. It takes Alpha Legion. It takes Concealed, the stratagem. Veterans of the Long War, the stratagem. It takes the Demonic Ritualist detachment set of stratagems. It takes having the Nurgle low-key near it. It takes multiple Nurgling squads to keep it invisible, utilizing the Conceal stratagem. And then it benefits from Dark Apostle, minus the hit. It benefits from the Alpha Legion minus the hit, reminds me of Pestilence minus the hits. It literally can forward operate another stratagem. It could warp time a psychic power. There's a dozen things that make it work. And GW is cognizant to competitive 40K, also helping sell their models for them. And as people like TJ Lanikin dissect the power of these units, one of the top rated guys in ITC, and makes it known to the world, and Don Huzens make his list known to the world, these things also sell models. So GW is hyper cognizant of this fact, and they will be more open to more like to Wyatt's point, like doing it the way he suggested, that will happen because they've seen the benefits of it now. And now they're just a few steps away. They just got to be brave. They got to stand, they just got to be tough, in their meetings, and we're going to get the game system we deserve.
Agreed.
That's all I have to say.
Brave new world. That's it. That's all you got.
That's all I got.
Let's Haspil away.
Oh, wait, hold on. One shout out. David, my brother. He's stepping back to 40K. He's coming back.
Oh,
nice. Okay.
Utilizing that possessed combination I was just talking about. And in his words, played it, used all the strategies. He was in our tactics class. I had a couple of meetings with him. Played Marcus Parkus and beat him.
Whoa.
Beat his Iron Hands with that new
nice.
Miracle Possessed bomb.
Congrats. And to put the exclamation point on what we just talked about, Chaos Possessed models are sold out at Games Workshop now.
Yeah.
Oops. So, yep. They ain't dumb. They're going to figure it out.
All I'm saying is, like, if I wanted to make rules to sell models, I would look at what nobody is buying and I would fix those models.
Yep.
So, like, if I was going to make a rules update for Dark Angels, I'd be like, hey, nobody really plays Dark Angels because they kind of suck right now. So let's make them in line with Space Marines a little bit because they have cool new stuff, or they're cool, unique stuff like Deathwing and Ravenwing. But then let's make the Ravenwing and the Deathwing like super dope, because not only are those models really cool, they're also kind of expensive. Like Black Knights and Deathwing Knights / Deathwing Terminators are pretty expensive box. So I would most definitely make those units super baller because nobody plays them because they've been garbage this whole edition. And that's like the heart and soul of Dark Angels is the Deathwing and the Ravenwing. So if they come out with a rules update and those units aren't like fixed to the point of being like able to put on the table at the very least, like I'd be kind of upset if I was a Dark Angels player.
Filthy heretics.
Yep,
true.
it's happening.
But also not true.
You guys see that meme that's floating around where it's like, bathe yourself, you dog of Fenris, or some shit? It's like,
I saw one from
as soon as you wash the filth of your,
the stain from your honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I saw a meme from our buddy Evan who was like, everybody's bitching about all these Space Marine releases, but hey, we have Chaos releases now. And it's a picture of the new Horus Heresy Dark Angel Knights, guys.
Oh, it looks like Possessor
never gets old.
Possessor actually back in stock. They were out of stock last week.
They were listening.
Well, they found this dark, deep section of their Grail warehouse, the Ark of the Covenant warehouse, where they have like a box of Possessed that were not even in box yet. They're like, oh shit, we literally have 1,000 of these no one's bought for fucking 10 years.
Yeah. War suits are actually, Invictus war suits are back in stock too. Eliminators still out of stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Rob,
getting there. Is Haspil awake? Haspil takes out.
Young fool, only now at the end do you understand.